I'm approved at, and I would need to get that approved.
Hey, yo.
With our financial department, which is something that takes all of about 30 to 45 seconds.
Listening to this guy in my
But
group, he dropped his call in the group. I'm sure you wouldn't mind you guys taking a listen to the end of it.
Pending that final approval.
He's creating some urgency at the end of the phone call.
Man, I'm serious about that. Like I said, I can tell you're interested in selling, but it sounds like if the offer isn't solid around there, you're not really there. So I don't. These funds may or may not be available in a couple weeks when I call back, which can really alter how much we're able to offer you on this.
He's saying,
I am currently
this is the offer today, but it may not be the same offer 2 weeks from now.
If it is something that you think is fair, I would hate for us to lose an opportunity here, of being able to get a formalized agreement signed so that we can move this process forward. Is that something that you think is that something you think we should do?
Was that a question?
Yes, sir. I'm asking you, is that something?
No, that was a statement.
No, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you, is that something that you think that we should do in terms of maybe potentially drawing up an agreement?
No. I think we need to wait.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I just wanted to confirm that with you. All right, so I got you down for a follow-up in a couple weeks, Peter. I do appreciate you for your time today, sir, and I hope you have a fantastic day, all right?
All right.
Okay, you take care, sir. Bye-bye.
Pretty good call. Now, again, was a member of my group. He had posted his call just to kind of, for educational purposes, kind of outlined how I don't have it pulled up anymore, but he broke it down like, around this minute mark, I was started to create some urgency. Around this minute mark, we started talking condition, yada, yada, yada. And that was at the end of the phone call right there. Something that I'm really trying to work on myself is when you're talking to these leads who are interested, but we're just a little bit, off on price, or people who give you, in this case, it sounds like the gentleman is asking a price that is reasonable. And the wholesaler was just trying his best to not, blow his load and say, okay, I can do that. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. He's still trying to, oh, it's going to be kind of tight for us, but, I think I can get approval at that amount. And then he started creating some urgency saying, we have a set amount of money on hand right now, and we are looking at some other properties. So, I feel very confident in getting the approval for that offer for what your asking price is. But, things may be changed 2 weeks from now when I'm going to round back with you and give you a call. So, I would hate to lose out on an opportunity to be able to buy your property and help you out with that, just because, we kicked the can down the road and waited a little too long. And now the money has already been spent on another property. So, and then he says, do you think, if we put an agreement together today, even if we set the closing date out, far in advance to allow you time to kind of get your affairs in order, if we can do that, then what it'll allow us to do is take that money and set it aside and allocate it specifically for your property. Again, just create an urgency. And he says, so do you think that that's something that we should do? And he says, no, we shouldn't put together an agreement. So still a really good call. I enjoyed listening to it. But what's going on, everybody? Ayo, Derek here. Gonna hop on the phone with some of my leads. I shouldn't have too many follow-ups since the other day I blew through like all of my past due follow-ups and brought it up to date. So it's really just whatever's set for me today. And I think yesterday I didn't do follow-ups either. So I should probably have like 10, 15 calls to make. Maybe not even that much, but I'm going to see if somebody's interested in wanting to get paid before the holidays. That's really all what it comes down to right now. Is what I'm finding is people are either going to want to get paid before Christmas time, or they're just wanting to push it out till next year. So right now I have like 20, so many calls every day the first week of the year, first 2 weeks of the year. So I'm looking forward to the beginning of the year because I'm going to go hard and I'm going to follow up with all those people, and everybody's going to want to sell, hopefully. But I'm putting it out in the atmosphere that's what's going to happen. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Cover everything wholesaling real estate on the channel, specifically virtual wholesaling, as that's what I'm doing. I live in California, sourcing and closing deals out in Houston, Texas. If you are in Houston, Texas, please feel free to drop a comment letting me know. If you feel comfortable dropping an email, you can find my email somewhere in my YouTube like description in the bio or something like that on my channel. Feel free to email me, letting me know that you're working the Houston market as well. I'd love to network and see how we may be able to create a mutually beneficial relationship moving forward. I got to write down all these announcements that I have to make at the beginning of the video. If you're new as well, and that's the type of content you're interested in, wholesaling real estate, specifically virtually wholesaling real estate, although a lot of the content does pertain to just the general blanket of wholesaling real estate. If that's something that you're interested in, please hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. I go live once a day, at least Monday through Friday. Sometimes I go live on Saturdays. Sometimes I go live multiple times a day, Monday through Friday. Just depends on what my schedule allows. So we would love to have you. We're building a little bit of a community here, from beginner wholesalers who are just starting out, just thinking about starting out, to people who are closing deals. So all walks of life are welcomed here. We look forward to having you on some future live sessions. So I'm gonna go ahead, hop into it. I sent off like a little over 300 texts this morning. Nothing favorable. Still just kind of dispoing those, but I got a lot of no's, which is, again, I've said this in recent videos, but I don't mind the no's. I actually prefer them because I'm getting one step closer to the yes or the warmer lead. So let's see how many no's I got, or just like replies in general today from the text campaigns. Oh, I'm not even gonna be able to pull it up. Oh well, got a lot. A lot of no's today. A couple of people threatening to sue me. Typical stuff. One guy said, I had a few people throw out just an unreasonable asking price. I've been just considering them as not interested. That's what I've been tagging them as. I've also been tagging them as high asking price. I may revisit that high asking price list of everybody who's tagged that in the future. Maybe revisit it and just see if they've, reconsidered. Because I don't know, something about them throwing out a high asking price to me says that they're at least a little bit more motivated than somebody who's just saying no. You know what I mean? Like if it were that price, but again, it's not worth my time to entertain a conversation with them now, because they're asking like $100,000 over retail. It's not even like a retail lead. It's not something that I can maybe do a realtor referral or anything like that. It's just way absurd, the asking price. So, but I had one guy ask, how much is your offer? I asked, what can you tell me about it? How old is the roof? Any major amount of repairs needed? And he didn't text back. That was about an hour ago. So that's somebody who I'll maybe place on a follow-up and call him like in a few days or after Thanksgiving or something like that. Because again, he's willing to entertain an offer. Clearly, he's asking how much I'm offering. He's interested at least to know how much I'm offering. I don't know if that really speaks to his level of motivation. Probably not. But it'll be worth my time to just give him a quick call, in a few days or whatever. I want to allow him time to at least reply to me. He may just be at work. I'm surprised how many people text me at like 6:30 my time, which is 8:30 their time. I get texts almost every day. It's clear that people text me when they get off work. And that was something that you always kind of think about, like, oh, they're at work, they're not going to text me. But at the end of the day, or just like at the end of that thought, you think to yourself, but like, no, everybody has their phone on them. It doesn't matter if they're at work. It's easy for them to just pull out their phone and just say no, or entertain a text conversation. But you just never know somebody's situation. Maybe they don't have their phone on their person at their, at their job site or at work. But again, yeah, I got surprised how many people actually text me back at that hour. So that kind of just reassures me that the incoming replies are going to be constantly coming back. I don't have to worry about like I said, I texted this guy asking about the condition an hour ago. I'm not going to freak out and be like, oh man, that's a lead that I'm missing out on. Like, just whatever, like if he texts back, he texts back. But if not, I'll set myself again a follow-up task to hit him back up in a couple days, just so he doesn't slip through the cracks. If it is a lead, you know what I mean? But there's no indication to me that it's a hot enough lead for me to like freak out right now and want to call him because he hasn't texted me in an hour. It's not, it's not that much, not that big of a deal. So I'm going to start over here. If you're just kind of tuning in for the first time, what I do is, if you are tuning in for the first time, I do apologize. I'm working off of my 13-inch MacBook laptop right now. It doesn't have the processing power necessary to run streaming software. So I'm just literally off the webcam right now. And I try my best to just narrate everything that I'm doing on my computer, which is why I've kind of fallen back off of texting live, because it's just not the same if you can't see it. So I've just, not done that. But when I'm calling, you'll be able to hear the seller and myself. And I think that that's really the most important, is just being able to hear the conversation, not necessarily the technical aspect of what I'm doing on my computer. But I do have pre-recorded videos on the channel as well that maybe hopefully provide some insight to that, what I'm doing on the computer. So, I'm wholesaling virtually. I drive for dollars virtually on Google Maps. I have a little mini series on my channel on how I do my process driving for dollars virtually, how I run comps on PropStream, so stuff like that. And that's pretty much what I'm doing on the computer when you guys are watching me on the live stream. I have the dialer, and I have my texting software, and I have PropStream, and I have Zillow and everything else that everybody else has. So when I'm dialing on my dialer, I'm just on my dialer. I use call tools. And when I'm on my texting platform, I'm on my texting platform. But the thing is, I don't have a CRM. So any leads that I generate through texting, I set my follow-ups on my texting platform, and then, vice versa on the call tools. I'm setting my follow-up, calendar events for any leads that I generate, or follow-up leads that I generate on my dialer, and I'm setting the follow-ups on my dialer. So when I go to do my follow-ups, I operate on both. So I was getting ready to say I'm going to approach what I have today in terms of follow-up for the leads that I've generated through text. So this one I've already done. This was a gentleman who I went back and forth with using Google Translate. He was a Spanish speaker, and it sounded like he is interested in selling. He has like 2 properties on one lot and then a vacant lot right next door. We went back and forth. I was trying to pull a price out of him. He kind of let me know, he let me know what he has done in repairs, which is not very much at all. It sounds like it's going to be like a full gut remodel, just because he wasn't. I said this the other video too. When you ask somebody what type of repairs they've done to the place and they don't brag about all the stuff that they've done, it means that they really haven't done anything. So this guy was like, yeah, I elevated the foundation and painted like the outside, I think he said, or something like that. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like, oh yeah, I dropped in a new AC unit on both houses. I replaced the roof on both houses. We fully redid the kitchen and bathrooms in both houses. You know what I mean? He would brag about it if that's what he did. And then he was like, "Are you ready to buy?" And I was like, "Yeah." Are both those houses for sale? And he said, "Yeah." And he gave me the address. I said, "What have you done?" And that's what he said. And then he says, "Do you need to see the place?" And I was like, "No, as long as there's no, termite damage or mold damage or anything like that, I'm really confident in my numbers." And then I asked once what number he felt comfortable with. He didn't answer. And then I texted him back the following day asking if he had a number that he felt comfortable with, and he hadn't texted me back. So I took this lead as well as another Spanish speaking lead that I generated through my dialer, and I referred both of those to a member of my group that I'm in who's bilingual. So I just referred those over to her today, kind of gave her the details of both those leads, where I think that we should be in terms of a max allowable offer. So I'm just going to wait to hear back from her and see if she was able to connect with him. It was him, this guy, and this was a lead from. So that's my follow-up task. That's not to go off on a rant, but it was just wanted to remind myself to refer it to that bilingual person if I hadn't already. So I've already done that. But damn, I want to set myself a follow-up on him, just to kind of like remind myself if I haven't heard back. Like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say this is for Enrique. This Enrique. I'm gonna set myself a task. Any word from Priscilla is her name. Referred to Priscilla for Spanish speaking leads on 11, 22, 21. I'll set this like weeks out or whatever, because I don't want to, you know what I mean? She has her own business going on. She's not just specifically calling my leads. So it's like whenever she can get to it. I'm really not tripping on this one because he's Spanish speaking, and I probably wouldn't have been able to close it out anyways by myself. So, you know, whenever she can get to it, she'll get to it. She seems reliable, and she seems like the type of person who she volunteered. You know, she was like, I can help out. So I really don't have any issue with just hanging back and seeing what she can do with it. And another guy, again, that I called on my dialer, he was like, yeah, I want to sell, but can you have somebody call me in Spanish? I just don't feel comfortable. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll have somebody call you. And I keep a list of these leads, and and I designate them Spanish speaker. I tag them Spanish speaker. So I don't actually have any follow-up set for myself today through text. So I'm going to hop over to my dialer. I'm going to keep my texting platform open though, because I am just continuing to get some text coming in. I sent off those 300 like an hour or two ago. But yeah, that used to happen at my old company all the time. I had the ability at my old company to call a service, a translation service, to call these people, and we would just three-way Spanish-speaking individuals. And maybe there's something like that. I'm sure there is, but it wasn't cheap. I know that much. It wasn't cheap. It was like $1 a minute or something like that. And when you have like a decent conversation with these people, which you're pretty much needing to have with the people who I've closed up over the phone and had them sign a contract, I was on the phone with them, 30, 45 minutes. So maybe it's worth it for those type of individuals, but for just calling somebody to gauge their level of interest, definitely not. But anyways, yeah, kind of went off on a tangent on that one. But let's see. I'm going to come into my calendar events on my dialer, see what I have. I'm going to filter out by anything through today. So yeah, I got like 9. Some of them are just tasks though. So this one, any word on a Spanish speaking caller. This is this gentleman. Again, connected with him and he was like, yeah, I want to sell, but I need to talk with somebody in Spanish. Referred to Priscilla for Spanish speaking lead. Again, gonna do the same thing, just edit this task, set it out 2 weeks. Any word back from Priscilla. This one, follow up. This is the same. Oh, this is the same guy. I just sent myself a follow up reminder. I can delete that one. Run comps, determine MAO for oh no, this one is so bad. I will do that though, just not right now. That guy was like, when I was on the phone with him, he was rude and short, and I just am wanting to make sure that I ran comps just to make sure that the numbers that he was throwing out wasn't too unrealistic, because he can be as rude as he wants, but if he's asking for a realistic asking price, then I'm gonna offer it to him. You know what I mean? But the way that he was talking, it just didn't sound. I already kind of briefly ran comps when I was on the phone with him, just kind of generally feeling out the area. But he's telling me that the house needs to be torn down. It's not in good enough condition where it can be salvaged, so it's gonna go for lot value. But he said he would sell for 100,000. And I know for a fact in that area, I'm not going to be able to get any type of assignment fee if I go over 50,000. And he said that people have offered him anywhere from 40 to 80, and he's turned it down. So it just doesn't seem like somebody that's really motivated and needs to be like constantly followed up with. But again, I at least want to like sit down for a minute and officially run the numbers to make sure what my max is. And that will determine whether or not, I actually want to give him a call. Because if I can go up to 80 or somewhere in that ballpark, 75 even, and he's asking 100, I think that we'd be able to talk about it and get him down some. But I really don't think that I'll be able to go that high at all. This gentleman talked with him back at the end of October. Seller stated that he receives calls about every 3 days, but there was some consideration in his voice. He requested an email so that he can provide the information about the property so Derek can make an offer. The seller mentioned that properties are appraising for around 160, so he was wanting to see if Derek can be somewhere around there. I haven't run comps on this one, but I think I probably could for this something in this area. Let's see what the estimate is on PropStream. The estimate is 228. Let's see what it appraised for. It appraised for 150 total assessed value in 2020. So it appraised for 150 or got tax assessed value 150 last year. And he was asking 160. ARV's probably north of 228, probably like 230. So, I mean, this one's, but like, okay, so let me finish. I connected with him last week. Seller was driving, said he had a renter in there at the moment and wanted to know if Derek would be able to pay close to market. Derek said he would need to learn about the conditions. Seller provided Derek's email address so that Derek could ask any questions about the property via email so they could stay in touch. So I emailed him, and that's exactly what he did last time. If you recall, I just read late October, I emailed him. About a month later, I emailed him. So I'm not going to call this guy right now, but I am going to give him a call before the end of the year for sure. All right, yeah, okay. The task that I have for myself is to follow up via email. I think that's a good idea. Just, hey, warmly following up. Just wanted to make sure that you received this initial email and had an opportunity to reply if you were still interested in. And I may even allude to the that price that he's talking about, just so that he may feel like, okay, maybe I should get to this. You know what I mean? Okay, here we go. I think I want to run the comps now though. Just hey, what's up, everybody? A couple of people in here. One like, I appreciate you. Whoever dropped a like, I got another person in here as well. Don't forget to pay that entry fee. That one thumbs up. So in my original email, I said, "Hey, Mr. Stepter, thanks for speaking with me earlier today about your place. Like I mentioned, we would just need to learn a bit about the condition of the property before making an offer. In all likelihood, our intention will be to fix the place up to 2021 standards and resell it on the open market." Just wanted to kind of allude to that so he knows I have to factor in for profit. We're able to pay cash and able to close on your timeline for that reason. Below is a bulk of the information that I will need in order to come up with a cash offer. If you can please confirm the details listed and fill in the details that are left blank, it would be much appreciated. I said, address is this, beds 3, baths 2, square feet 1,600, lot size 4,900, year built 1985. And then I said, how old is the roof, central AC unit, if applicable, hot water heater, windows, and when was the last time renovations were done to the kitchen, bathrooms, carpet/flooring, paint. Thanks again for taking the time to provide me with this information. I look forward to hearing back from you and hope that I'm able to help you out the best I can. So I'm going to forward this off to him and say, hey, Mr. Stepter, warmly following up on my previous email. I just wanted to be sure that you received it and had the opportunity to provide me with the details if you were still interested in selling your place on the streets. And now I'm going to kindly allude to the things that we've been discussing. I want to say, I know that you are. Let's see if he gave me this information before. I don't think he did. I know that you are hesitant at the moment as you I know that you may be hesitant at the moment since you have some tenants in there. Might just leave it at that, like a statement. I know that you may be hesitant at the moment since you have some tenants there. I'm not going to allude to the price. Or should I? What do you think? Who's watching? Should I just say, hey, I know you were asking 160 and I think I can do that? I'm not going to say it like that, but allude to the fact that, we may be in the same ballpark. Let me run some comps real quick. Residential, single family. Still getting some text. Who the fuck are you? I will for 125,000. That doesn't seem too unreasonable compared to the price points. It may be retail, but maybe it's in an area where the values are going up a little bit. So I'm going to revisit that in a second after I run comps on this. Residential single family, 1648 square feet. I'm going to say 1,400 minimum, 1,900 max. Year built 1985. I'm going to say 1975 minimum, 1995 max. Sold within the last year. That gives me 9 properties. 1, 2, 3, 4 of which are in the same subdivision. Literally same street, same block. So this one was same street, sold in May for 199. Same bed, same baths, pretty much same square feet. A little bit bigger lot, 1 year older. I would say this is the perfect comp at 200. Same street. It's probably cookie cutter, except a lot. This one right around the block. This one's nearing the end of a cul-de-sac though, so you may assign a little bit more value to this one. This one sold for 172. 200 square feet smaller, so ours could probably sell for 192, maybe even closer to 200. About 600 square feet smaller on the lot. Ours is 1 year newer. I'd say like 195. So right around that 200 mark. This one sold for 200. This one's still, it's not the same subdivision, but it's 3/10 of a mile. It's right down the block. Same bed, same baths. This one is 200 square feet bigger, so ours could probably sell for 180. Bigger lot, substantially, 2,000 square feet bigger lot, but 4 years older. But this one also sold 10 months ago, so considering like all the appreciation that the market has seen, I still think ours is probably around the 200 mark. Letting the market appreciation offset the fact that this is 200 square feet bigger and 2,000 square feet bigger lot. Maybe a little bit below that, maybe like 190 again. So I'd call like ARV 195. It's average between the three, 190, 195, and 200. I'd call ARV 195. So I don't think that I'll be able to be at that 165 that he's talking about. 195, I multiply that by 0.92. That takes into consideration the buyer's profit, or not the buyer's profit, but rather the commissions, the fees, the closing costs that the buyer will incur on the back end when they go to resell the property, as well as the front end when we are assigning them our contract, because we are including the fact that we're covering closing costs, if that's what we agree to, but just for the sake of considering it. 0.92. That brings us down to 179. Let's just call it 180 minus. I've been taking 40, which covers both my assignment fee and the buyer's profit. So just depending on which way the scales tip. If I find a buyer that's willing to take 15, then that'll be 25 assignment. If I find a buyer that's willing to take 20 profit, 20. You know what I mean? I just like to kind of bulk it together. So automatically I'm at 140, and now I have to take into consideration the repairs. So I'm just not going to allude to that in the email I'm getting ready to follow up with, because he said he wanted 165 for a, what was it, 1,600 square foot property. Even if it was just carpet paint, really cosmetic repairs, I would need to be somewhere around 120. But in all likelihood, if he has tenants in there, I don't know what type of repairs he's done in recent years, but if he hasn't fully remodeled the kitchen bathroom, then we're probably looking at more like 100,000 is what we're going to be able to offer on this. So again, not going to reply to him alluding to the price, but I'll say, hey, Mr. Stepter, warmly following up on my previous email. Just wanted to be sure that you received it and had the opportunity to provide me with the details if you were still interested in selling your place on this street. I know that you may be hesitant at the moment since you have some tenants in there. Tenants there. So feel free to let me know when a more appropriate time when a more appropriate time would be to follow up. Possibly when the tenants are nearing the end of their lease. And I'm going to say question mark. And just leave it at that. Best, Derek. Come over here. Has seller emailed back? If not, follow up via telephone. I'll set this out 2 weeks maybe. Yeah, 2 weeks, December 7th. Boom, boom. Let's see who this is. Janice Lynn. This is like one of the first leads I've ever generated. I appreciate you guys coming with the likes. For real. That's what's up. And a few more texts. You got a wrong number. Who is this? Who the fuck are you? Oh, yeah. I wanted to get to that person who gave me that price. So all those people of the four texts that I got within like the last 5 minutes was you got a wrong number. Who is this? Who the fuck are you? I will for 125,000. Of those four, the only one that I am seeing is I will for 125. Oh, because Raj texted me back saying, who is this? You got a wrong number. Oh no, all three of those texts. So who the fuck are you? Who is this? You got a wrong number. So the system picked up on the F-bomb initially and added them to the DNC, but it also picked up on the fact that he said wrong number. So it tagged him as wrong number and kind of dispersed him to the place that he needs to go. And marked the conversation as read, so I don't even need to see it. So when I come into the unreads, I see I will for 125,000. Excuse me, I will for 125,000. Just make sure that email sent. It did. I want to delete these. What the fuck is this? I may be getting scammed right now. This person, I'm for sure getting scammed. I don't know what this is. Payment authorization requested, and it's for Call Tools. Hi, Derek. Thank you for completing the order form. The billing department requires a copy of your card used on the order form, along with a copy of your photo ID for authorization. Please take a picture of both verifications and email it directly to me at this email. A picture with your smartphone will work just fine. Feel free to black out any info you would, as long as your name or both and the last 4 digits of the card can be verified. As soon as I get this last action, I will send it to the billing department to process. If it's during business hours, I will most likely get your logins within the hour or so. Fuck that. Tripping. What was I? Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna quickly come over here. The guy who's asking 125,000. Push it to Zillow. See what the Zestimate's looking like. Zestimate's at 118. So he's pretty much asking Zestimate or retail. Let's see if when I run comps, it kind of inflates the value of the place significantly. If it does, that's the only reason that the 120 will work. But maybe if I dig a little deeper, they'd be willing to come something below 100. But just very off the top of my head, I assume that that's where I would need to be, at least 100, at least under 100, even if the value is inflated. So PropStream gives the estimate value of 180. This person owns 3 properties. They do not live in this property. I don't see how long they've owned it, but they've owned their other 2 properties for 20 years and 12 years. So let's run some comps. Residential, single family. This place is 1,533 square feet. So I'm going to bring it down to around 1,300 and upwards of 1,800. If I need to adjust that in a minute, I will. 1947 year build. I'm going to say minimum 1940 to maximum 1960. Again, I can mess around with these in a minute when I see if I need to. So of that, in the last year, 4 have sold. 1 on the other side of the train tracks, which I would prefer not to do. Let's look at this one. 3. All right, let's just look at that one on the other side of the train tracks. Sold for $249. Has an extra bathroom. Let's say ours could sell for $239. Theirs is 200 square feet bigger. Let's say ours could sell for $219. A little bit bigger lot and 3 years newer. I'm not gonna really take into account any of those. So what did I just say? 219. So like 220 ARV. I'm gonna pull these parameters out a little bit more to minimum 1,200 square feet and minimum year built to 1935. Okay. So this one, got a couple interesting texts right there. I'll read them to you in a second when I done comping this one. So 3, this one's on the our side of the train tracks here. Same beds, bath, 300 square feet smaller. So that one's over 125. I think ours could probably sell 155. Same size lot, but 8 years newer. But I'm gonna pull this one. This is where you got to be careful. I'm gonna pull this one up on Redfin to see if there's pictures, because this one might have been sold in as is condition. I would assume that it did because of just the discrepancy in sales prices compared to that first comp that I saw. You know what I mean? It's just like it would be incredible that these are less than 2/10 of a mile away, and this one sold for $100,000 more. Yeah, so this one sold as is. I pulled up the pictures. I can see the current state of the place. I still think that this was probably a really good deal. This one sold 125 at the beginning of the year. It's not in horrible condition. It's like rent ready, but could definitely use some renovation. That's for sure. So let's see that. So that one's cool. That one to know that one is in as is condition is sold for 125. Again, that one was 300 square feet smaller too. Just 8 years newer. Keep spitting everywhere. 300 years, 300 square feet smaller. So ours could probably sell 155. Let's take a look. I think a lot of these are as is because this one's 160 on our side of the train tracks again. 3/10 of a mile away, but the lot's just too big to consider it a comp. And that one's really not good either. So I would call ARV probably 200 if you want to look at that one across the train tracks, and then call as is value probably 155 in that state though. So if it's in worse condition than that one that sold as is, then I would have to be lower than that. But he's asking 120, so I will for 125. He says. I'm gonna say, okay. What can you tell me about the place? What can you tell me about the current condition of the place? Question mark. Any major or minor repairs needed? In parentheses, I like to put roof, AC unit, kitchen, bathrooms, etc. Because that's a good text right there. I think that's a lead right there for real. Let's see. What did I called ARV 200. I wish I had a different comp or at least one more comp to justify that, but I'm feeling pretty good about that, considering that the one on our side of the train tracks went for 125 as is in the beginning of the year, and this one sold for 250, all fixed up on the other side. 250? Am I looking at the same comp? 250. Oh, it was 200 square feet bigger and 3 years newer. 200 square feet bigger, 250. 250. Oh, extra bath, 250 down to 240, 200 square feet down to 220. I don't know. I'm tripping. Extra bath sold for 249. That brings us down to 239. I said 220 ARV. Have I been saying 200 or have I been saying 220? I don't know. I think 220 is the ARV. Because that one sold for, again, 125 in the beginning of the year. That one probably needed, let's say, at least 30,000 in work, calling it 155. If they sold it, probably 200. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking it's 250. Just the appreciation's gone crazy. So 220, I'm sorry. 220 times 0.92. On this one, I'm going to subtract 40 still, maybe 45, because it's higher price point and buyers are going to expect a higher profit. It's not like a way higher price point, but 10% of the ARV is good rule of thumb that they're going to expect in profit. So 220 of the ARV, they're going to expect at least 22. I'll call it 25 just to be conservative in my numbers. And then I'm carving out a $20,000 assignment fee for myself, bringing me down to 157. And this place is 1,500 square feet. So it's going to go anywhere in the range, depending on the level of work that it needs, probably anywhere from probably anywhere from like 80 if it was really bad, all the way upwards of like 140. So depending on the condition, I might be able to do that right there, the 125. Hoping that he texts me back. I hope that he texts me back right there. Deborah texted back saying, not at this time. Feel free to touch base with me in about 6 months. That's cool. I'm going to say, all right, will do. Thanks for getting back to me. Have a great holiday season. You know what I mean? Just trying to schmooze her a little bit. So when I follow up, it's like, oh yeah, this is Derek. He wished me a good holiday season. So I'm gonna tag her follow up. She gets added to the follow up pipeline stage, and then I'm gonna set myself a task. Set myself a task to follow up with her in 3 months. She told me 6. I'm following up in 3. That's what you got to do. Remember, follow up for February 23rd at 11 a.m. Save that. It would help if you sent your text to Robert, who might actually know something about the property you mentioned. Wrong number. I get a lot of these initial talks. I just don't think the numbers are there to even begin considering to sell. I'm in the current process of renovation to rent it out again. Well, I mean, I won't know if the numbers work or not unless I know what he is expecting to get out of it. So that's what I'm going to ask. His estimate's at 270. I'd imagine ARV is probably going to push closer to 300. Decent sized place, 2,500 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. I get a lot of these initial talks. I just don't think the numbers are there to even begin considering to sell. I don't really know what that means. Again, let me pull it up in PropStream, see if like he owes a mortgage on it. Maybe I can just get some more intel on the place so that I can kind of understand what he's talking about. It may just be the fact that he's not getting what he wants out of it in terms of the purchase price. So he still owes like $44,000, which I don't think would take it out of the realm of being able to sell it. He owns 2 properties. He does not live in this one. This is non-owner occupied. So I'm going to text him back saying, I get a lot of these initial talks. I just don't think that was, I can understand that. Period. I can understand that. If you were to let it go in its current state, how much would you be hoping to get out of it? Walk away with? Walk away with. And that implies that kind of like, I know that he still owes something on the property, but at the same time, it can be kind of perceived as maybe Derek doesn't know, but I know. So it may even prompt him to tell me like, hey, yeah, I still owe 40,000 on it. So I'm hoping to walk away with, 100,000, which would tell me that his asking price is 140,000. So I can understand that. If you were to let it go in its current state, how much would you be, hoping to walk away with? See what he says to that. If anything, I'm still going to put him on a follow-up so that he doesn't slip through the cracks here. Tag him as follow-up. Save. Add a task. This is somebody I'm going to want to follow up with like just in a few weeks because he's already in the process of renovating. So I want to see if maybe he's fed up with it and just wants to wipe his hands clean with it and doesn't want to finish the renovation. So if that is the case, I don't want to call him any later than like a month in the future, because if more than a month goes by, he is either going to sell it or to somebody else, or he's going to have made the decision to fully do the renovation and have already like maybe purchased materials and started doing the work. And I mean, he says he's already in the process of doing it. So, you know what I mean? I just don't want so much time to go by where he's made enough progress in the renovations where he's not willing to sell it at the amount where I'm going to need it to be at, or maybe he's just already kind of been done with it and sold it to somebody else. So I'm going to leave a description. Follow up has he made progress in renovating. Dig deeper to determine current condition and possibly his situation. And I'm gonna follow up with him in like 3 weeks. Halfway through December at noon. Hopefully he gets back to me though. We can continue this conversation because again, this is somebody who I might even just hop on the phone with right now because it could possibly be worth my time. But at the same time, he's renting it out. So I want to at least try to vet him out by seeing if he tells me his price and it's in line with what I think I'm able to offer, then all good. What I say, 80 to 140. I hate when I do that. I forget to write down the comps and my numbers and stuff. I said 220, didn't I? Yeah. I mean, shoot, what's this one? This one sold. Oh, it's just significantly smaller is all. 500 square feet smaller. But this one sold same subdivision. This one is 1 year newer. About 2,000, a little bit less than 2,000 smaller square feet on the lot. About close to 500 square feet smaller on the house. One less bedroom and half more bathroom. And that one sold for 265 in August. And this one sold for 270. Shoot, I might be able to go way higher than what I thought. This is not the same property. Am I tripping? This isn't the same property. I don't think this is the same property. Because the estimate on this on the prop stream is 346. And his estimate was 270. Oh, this is a way different property. I'm tripping. So yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm not gonna run comps on that one until maybe he throws me a number or something like that. I'd love for him to throw me a number and see if I may be able to make it work. Cause I think I may be able to go upwards of 346. He has like $300,000 worth of equity. And again, some of these comps are pushing 300. So this one is same subdivision, half bath more, sold for 310 and just a couple weeks ago. So ours could probably sell for 300, a little bit more. Same exact square footage and about 2,000 square foot smaller lot. So what did I say? 300, yeah, probably like, gosh, I don't know. It's hard. This one's hard. Because there's no real comps to justify the level of appreciation, but it's clear that there is some, if that makes sense. Let me just take the subdivision filter off of it to see if anything pushes 300,000. Just that one that I was looking at is the only one that pushed 300. This one pushed 300, but just barely 303. And that one's like half mile out. So I'd say like 300 is what you can expect out of this one. 310. That one has that extra half bath. Maybe like 305. Oh no, we have 2,000 extra square feet. Probably like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe 310, 315. Your place, I would need to get it anywhere from 220 to like one, or what did I say? Yeah, 220 to 290. So, okay, back to the dialer when I was hitting the follow ups. This is like one of the first people that I ever generated like a lead on. She was wanting to downsize to an apartment. She really hadn't done her research, so she didn't know how much she owed on the property or how much was going to be needed in renovations. She said that she wasn't wanting to pull the trigger on anything at least until November. This is 2020 November because her boss is out of town and she is covering for him before they close the office. So this is when like COVID was a big deal and um, sounded like she was losing her job because the office was shutting down. She mentioned that she had put a new roof on about 5 to 10 years ago. She has installed a water heater about 2 to 3 years ago and changed carpet to flooring on the interior. And it was just she started dodging my calls after that. So I'm gonna call her up. Hey, yo, what's going on, CWL? Gonna give her a call right now. This is gonna be the first time I talked with her in a year. If she does answer, just gonna revisit the conversation, see if there's any interest. I'm gonna be like, yo, you've been dodging the calls. Been trying you for a year now. What's going on? Not actually gonna say that, but I feel like saying that. 1 second. This is Janice Lynn. I think I just call her Janice. I've had the same number too, so she may have me saved. Might still dodge me.
Please leave a message. At the tone, please.
I'm not gonna leave a message, but I am gonna shoot her a quick text. I've just been very hesitant in leaving voicemails for people who I don't have like a strong relationship with. I just get people like, now that I've been texting a lot of people, I've been getting a lot of like threats of people like, I'm gonna report your ass to the TCPA or whatever it is. Just today, I put this on my Instagram story. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, the link should be in the description here. I don't really regularly post, but I'm trying to make more of a habit to do so, especially to share my uh, wholesaling content. But just today, I had somebody text me back saying, gosh, it's loading. My phone's slow as all hell. But she said, "Hello, I'm currently working and will reach out to you tomorrow. Please give me your name and your company name. Thanks." To me, that's like, you're just asking to get sued to start passing out your information like that. What I could do is just give her fake information. I know people do that. I think I am going to start getting in the habit of that. Just give out a fake name and a fake company name. Just make it up, right? People will say like Houston Cash Offers, Houston Home Solutions. You know what I mean? So like, if they really wanted to report your ass and sue you, they're not going to have your actual. Which is why I also don't have my name in any of my scripts in the text that get sent out. Um, so I don't know. I've becoming really hesitant to be posting or be leaving voicemails and just providing my information willingly. So, but I will shoot her a text right now because I do want to just follow up to some regard. I don't know if this is a landline or not. Maybe it'll tell me it's a mobile, so she should be getting it. Say text. I want to say, hey, Janice Lynn. I'm not sure if you recall, but my name is Derek, and we had spoke about 1 year ago about your property on North Avenue. I wanted to round back to see if you have given any more thoughts to possibly selling that place. Or just selling. Hey, Jensen, I'm not sure if you recall. My name is Derek, and we had spoke about 1 year ago regarding your property on North Ave. I wanted to round back to see if you had given any more thoughts possibly selling. All right. Dialed, did not leave voicemail. Texted. I tried her a week ago. I'm going to start pushing this one out bi-weekly. So I'll call her first week of December. Jose Lazo. Jose is not interested now, wants me to check in every couple of months. That was April of this year. Owns with brother and wants to talk with him tomorrow about their interest in selling. That was me talking to him about 2 weeks ago. I tried him last week, or I tried him about a couple of days after that, which is still about 2 weeks ago as of today, and didn't connect with him, and I left him a voicemail. So I'm going to try him again right now. See if... See if they've have spoken, talked. See if they talked about it. Close my door real quick. All right, no pickup. I'm gonna push this one out bi-weekly as well. I'm not playing with these follow-ups anymore, I'm telling you. Benny said his tenant had been there for 5 years and that they are going through credit check and whatnot right now in order to purchase that place. He sounded like he had property in Richmond and Rosenberg as he mentioned this when he forgot that he owned something in Beasley. Derek thinks it's worth following up in 3 months to check on the status of the tenants moving forward. I talked with him back in October, or maybe this is just when I brought the information over from Mojo Dialer, my old dialer. I tried him on a week ago. Attempted, no opportunity to leave voicemail. I'm gonna call him again right now. Still getting some texts coming through, wrong numbers, some not interesteds. I'm just trying to push the marketing just as much as possible, like an uncomfortable amount of marketing. To the point where I'm overwhelmed with the opportunities. Phone's kind of bugging right now. I need to use something else besides Google Voice. What do you guys use for like drop in the comment section for me. Let me know what you guys use for like your phone numbers so that you can get local area codes. I use Google Voice. My coach uses Sideline. I don't know. Google Voice just runs really slow on my phone. I'm sure it has a lot to do with my phone too, though, because my phone is old as hell. Definitely due for an upgrade.
Call is forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 281.
I'm gonna try one more time on that number.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice
Well,
message
I'll leave a
system.
voicemail because I didn't last time.
1-785-6155 is not available. At the
Slide
tone,
text?
please
Okay.
record your
I'll look
message.
into it.
When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, this message is for Benny. This is Derek. I'm not sure if you recall. A few months back, we had spoke about your property over in Beasley on North 3rd Street. At the time, you had let me know that your tenant was actually going through the process of, going through the credit check and whatnot in order to purchase that place. So I just wanted to follow up, check in, see what kind of progress has been made on that front. And to see if you were still possibly interested in selling that property there if your tenants were unable to, either pass a credit check or anything like that. Again, my name is Derek. If you are interested in possibly receiving an offer on this place, I'd love to reconnect with you and learn a little bit about the place. My number here is 832-324. I'll talk to you soon. Slide text. I'm gonna look into that. It's just like a dummy number. That's all I need is just a dummy number that I can call off of. Tempted, left voicemail. This out bi-weekly. Humberto, talked with him on July 7th, connected with sellers, said maybe interested in the future, receive permission and follow up every 3 to 6 months. Call Humberto right now.
You have called is unavailable right now. Please
Try that one more time. I do have a couple other numbers associated with this property. I don't think I'm going to try them right now. I might as well. I'll at least try this second number because it's a mobile. Because when I brought all of this data over from Mojo Dialer, when I set up my call tools,
subscriber you have dialed is not in service.
so I
If
can
you
delete
feel
that
you
one.
received this
I brought over the data from Mojo. I did on some of them. I didn't specify which number I was talking to them on. So I'm gonna hit him with the weekly follow-up for now. Tio Demiro, Mr. Perez. Okay. Connected with seller, mentioned not right now, maybe in the future. Connected with wife, said I need to speak with husband. He'll be back in 2 hours. Ran some numbers, left voicemail. So I haven't reconnected with this guy since he said maybe in the future. Based on my numbers, ARVs around 135, 140, and then the max allowable offer is anywhere from 35 to 75, depending on the condition. Off that margin right there, I'd imagine that this place is pretty small in square footage, at least less than 1,500 square feet. Let's see, 900 square feet. So pretty small place, but it's all good. Let me give him a call at this number. I'm actually going to try. So it's clear that the first number that I'm calling is a landline because the wife answered last time and said that the husband wasn't there. It's around 5:15 their time. He may be home.
The Magic Jack customer you have called is unavailable to take your call. Please leave a message after the.
I'll try the mobile number right behind it. I'm just seeing if anything has sold recently that may alter those numbers. I have one that sold 170 in September. Same beds, baths, about 100 square feet bigger. So I probably could sell for 160. A little bit bigger lot, but 7 years older. So I'd say, yeah, 160. And this one sold about 2 months ago. So ARV's definitely been pushed up a little bit. So I'm going to edit this note saying ARV 160. I'd be able to offer anywhere from 40 to 95, depending on condition. I'm gonna try that mobile number. Got 2 mobile numbers on here. Imagine one of them may be the wife. Hey, is Mr. Perez?
Hello?
Hey, is Mr. Perez?
It's who?
I'm looking for Mr. Perez. Do I have the right number here?
I can't get that. Who you want to talk to?
Mr. Perez. I might have
All
the.
right, no, sir. That probably belonged to him a long time ago.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Take that off. I got one more mobile number here. I'll give it a try. Only reason I'm trying these is because, again, I don't know which one I've been talking to them on, and that first one's a landline.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box.
All right, well, dialed. Did not leave voicemail. Is that, yeah, that's everybody. Let me refresh it. Push this out weekly. Again, going hard on the follow-ups. Pop back over to the text, see if anything. Michael has not texted me back. This is the gentleman who says that the numbers just don't work. I got one person that says feel free to follow up in 6 months. I'll follow up with her in 3. And then this gentleman Douglas who said that he would sell it for 125, which is reasonable. I just need a little bit more information. He hasn't replied, so I'm going to call him tomorrow if he doesn't reply by the end of the day. Excuse me. Tag him as follow up. Save. Task. Uncomps. Call back. Tomorrow at around this time, 3 p.m. Boom. All right. That's all the follow-ups I wanted to hit. Let me see what kind of time I'm working with. May hop on the dialer. All right, Derek, got any flips I can pick up this week? Not at the moment. Not at the moment. Not interested, says John. That should get flagged automatically, which it did. Boom, boom, boom. I just skip traced the new list too, which I'm excited to market to. It is a 60 plus, the age of the sellers is 60 plus and absentee owned. What else? And then just like all the other parameters, like owned it for at least 7 years, you know, market value less than 350,000, I think. Some of that stuff, but I just skip traced that earlier. About 600, a little over 600 properties. So I'm actually probably gonna hold off to market to it till next week. I just wanted to take advantage of a Black Friday sale that popped up. So I'll probably wait because I want to text through that list before I call it. Just try to trim the fat at a lower cost, and then call through the people that are left over. So I think I'm gonna have to head out in like an hour. So I'm gonna hop off now and hop in the shower and eat a little something before I leave for the day. Appreciate CWL. Appreciate you for hopping in here, tapping in live. Congratulations again on the next on that on that closing. Let's get that next one now. Me and you both trying to get to that next one. But right now, the way things are kind of shaking for me, I'm lining up like a lot of follow-ups for the beginning of the year. I'm hearing a lot of people in the industry say that too. It's like at this point in time, it's people are either going to want to sell like right now so that they can get their money before Christmas, or they just don't want to deal with it until the beginning of the next year. So I'm finding that a lot of people that I'm talking to don't really want to deal with it till the beginning of next year, but they are interested. So again, I plan on hitting the dialer and all my follow-ups like crazy the first week or two of the year. Obviously still planning on marketing leading up to that point, but at this point in time, a lot of the interest that I'm getting is people saying that they are interested, but that they want to sell next year. Call me next year, which is fine. I'm cool with that. But again, CWL, appreciate you. Appreciate anybody else that hopped in here live, or if you're watching this after the fact, appreciate you. Do me a favor if you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Not sure if I'm going to go live tomorrow. In all likelihood, I will not go live until probably next Monday, just due to the Thanksgiving holiday. So if I do end up hopping tomorrow, I'll see you then. But if not, possibly Monday. But Till next time, peace.